Now, if you've been following the channel for any certain amount of time, well, it's not going to be any shocker to you to learn that I am a massive Street Fighter II super nerd. So you can imagine my excitement when New Wave Toys sent me this Street Fighter II Replicade cabinet for review on the channel. So I want to issue a special thank you to New Wave Toys for sending this out for review, but I also want to issue a disclaimer and let you know that everything I'm about to say in this review video is going to be my own thoughts and opinions, and I wasn't asked to say anything specific about this cabinet. Now that we've got that out of the way, let's go ahead and get this review started, shall we? Shoryuken! New Wave Toys is back once again with their third release of their amazing Replicade 1/6 scale arcade cabinet series. Previously, we saw some of the best arcade games of the 80s released with their Centipede and Tempest cabinets. Moving forward another decade, we now have before us this amazing, highly detailed Street Fighter II Champion Edition arcade cabinet. If you were fortunate enough to be around during the arcade boom of the 80s and 90s, then there is little doubt that you haven't dumped your fair share of quarters into a Street Fighter cabinet at some point. Coming in at a complete height of 12 inches, this arcade cabinet goes to great lengths to faithfully recreate its full-size predecessor. The cabinet itself is made from real wood material and even has the classic dynamo cabinet shape and cutouts on the control panel. Due to the obvious space constraints, the control panel here only features a one-player setup, but it remains otherwise arcade accurate, even using real authentic micro-switch push buttons and a joystick. These buttons feel really good and have a nice clicky responsive tactile feel that we all know and love, and I found myself able to pull off most special moves on these controls, despite their miniature size. Player 2 has not been forgotten, as New Wave Toys even included a separate fight pad that sits nestled around the back of this cabinet in a specialized compartment. The storage compartment even has some nice little neat red, white, and blue LEDs to match the gamepad buttons and further accentuate this display. The mini fight pad feels and plays identical to the one on the main control panel and is a great way to spontaneously get a few quick rounds in against friends. Just above the controller compartment is a pair of dual speakers that blast amazing music and sound effects of this arcade in true stereo sound. A volume wheel sits next to the cabinet power button and allows you to set the volume to your desired needs. And these babies pack quite the punch, as this cabinet can get quite loud. And additionally, another cool feature that no one seems to be noticing and or talking about this on this amazing little cabinet is there's actually a secondary compartment up here. We slide this tray out, and tucked away up here is a second micro USB cable so you can charge your little mini fight stick. Pretty neat. The internal cabinet battery is charged with the included micro USB cable around back, and I found that I've gotten a little over an hour and a half worth of gameplay on a fully charged battery with increased display brightness settings turned on. Speaking of settings, there is a robust amount of options that you can tweak on this wonderful little cabinet by depressing the second coin door button. It brings up the new menu where you can adjust settings such as screen brightness, gameplay difficulty, and of course allows you to switch to the other game. That's right, this cabinet also comes with a second game, Super Street Fighter II Turbo. Gameplay of both these games is exactly how you remember, and both games are absolutely loads of fun to play. You can even unlock the hidden boss Akuma on this cabinet, just like in the good old days. The beautiful 3.5-inch LCD screen has great viewing angles and is very crisp with good levels of detail and contrast. Eagle-eyed gamers, however, may notice though that this screen has actually been formatted in widescreen and is not the 4:3 aspect ratio. However, I personally have no issue with this change, as I didn't find the characters to look overly odd or stretched out. The likelihood of New Wave Toys being able to source a true 4:3 aspect ratio LCD screen in such a small size, at an affordable rate mind you, would likely have been impossible. Fear not though, as gameplay on the screen looks absolutely wonderful and should please the masses. And another really cool unadvertised feature on this cabinet that I thought was neat was that it's actually compatible with a lot of USB powered controllers. So the first one I tried was this classic Sega Genesis 6-button controller. Plugged it in here, didn't have to do any button mapping or anything, it works smashingly well. So that's very cool. So if you've got a USB powered fight pad or controller, it's definitely worth checking out because it's a very cool added feature. It's kind of a surprise bonus thrown in there. New Wave Toys has just finished another successful Kickstarter for their newest line of products, Replitronics. of which we now have their USB charging coin machine, allowing collectors to hook up multiple Replicade cabinets to this coin machine power supply and round out an amazing arcade collection. In the coming future, New Wave Toys will also be releasing several new Replicade game cabinets, such as Missile Command, Asteroids, and of course one of my absolute personal favorites, Dragon's Lair. Now in summation, I absolutely believe this Replicade Street Fighter II cabinet is a must-buy, especially if you're a Street Fighter II fan or an arcade game lover yourself. $120 gets you an exceptional value in my opinion. You've got real micro switch buttons and joystick, actual die-cast parts on the coin doors, little things like the LEDs that actually light up, and as well as, the included secondary fight stick, and once again with the amazing details, the red, white, and blue, things like that light up and showcase that secondary joystick, things that really go above and beyond the Call of Duty, things that New Wave Toys didn't have to include, but you can tell they really wanted to take some time and do this absolutely right, and I think they knocked it out of the park, so definitely check it out. I'll put product links down in the video description box below in case you're interested in picking one up for yourself. And you best believe when those new cabinets come out and that USB battery charging bank comes out, I'll be covering them on this channel because I absolutely love the stuff that New Wave Toys is doing right now. Anyways, if you're new to this channel, make sure you subscribe, hit that notification bell so you'll be the first to know every time I upload new content. And as always, thanks for watching, guys.